No, do they do signs in basketball? I don't know. Maybe.
The Dan York State of Mind program is brought to you in part by Lookout Rhode Island and Takeo Comfort Solutions.
Obviously, no, but now that I think about it, maybe there is some kind of secret communication goes on the basketball floor. Great to have you in. Listen, it's a Friday night in the middle of the summer, and I'm a little tired of talking about the market. This way, let's put it this way: we probably put another year of work on the retirement plan this week with the market, unless something happened. For those of you who are regular viewers, on Friday we record our programs on Thursday afternoon. So all hell could have broken loose, or we may have recovered by this time. I have no idea. But it's good to shake it up on Fridays and just sit back and have a theme, sometimes pretty intense, sometimes casual. As you know, I'm nothing but a dumb jock anyway and love to talk sports. And one of the things that was really cool that happened here in the last month was that Ed Cooley was able to take a team from the Big East to the Pan American Games representing the United States of America, and wisely chose one of his rivals as a member of his coaching staff. And I go way back with this young man. I've known him for a long, long time, he and his family, from our roots back in Western Massachusetts. Well, his roots and my semi-roots. But here was Ed Cooley talking about the excitement pre the Pan American Games.
Anytime you can hear the national anthem on foreign soil and be a gold medal winner, it's priceless, it's emotional. You get goosebumps, but the last time this Pan American team was 36 years ago.
Last win was 36 years
Last gold medal team. The guy's name was, I think, Michael Jordan.
And the guy that was standing next to him there is the head coach at Brown University, Mike Martin, who has been extended long-term at Brown, already a successful tenure. One of your best seasons. Was last year your best season ever? Most wins. Yeah. Is there a difference?
Well, we didn't win the Ivy League championship, so I would say not the most successful season in program history, but most wins.
Right.
So we're proud of that.
But for you, it was another major step up in your efforts to make this a permanently prominent program.
I think so. Yeah, no, we're really happy with the season we had. Hungry for more. We think our talent and our culture are at a point now where we can expect to compete with the better teams in our league, and that's a good league. I mean, last year it was the 11th ranked conference in the country, and Yale had an NBA player. A guy got drafted from Yale. So we feel really good about the progress we're making and hungry for more.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Ivy League a little bit later on in the broadcast. But welcome, thanks for coming over.
Yeah,
I know it's a crazy summertime. People think, oh, basketball coach, off season, must be swimming and going to the beach a lot. This, in fact, it's one of the toughest periods of the year for you, right? Because you're chasing talent, you're recruiting, you're regrouping. Tell us about that part.
Yeah, so the summer is a really busy time as far as being able to evaluate prospects and hopefully convince them to join our team in the fall of 2020. So we're right in the thick of it right now. We actually have a young man on campus now for a visit. We have some more guys coming for visits, and we're taking our team to Spain next Wednesday. And then we get back in schools in session. So it's a busy time, but a really fun time for us. My family, we're going to get to go to Spain, and the recruiting that happens in the summer, as you know, Dan, is so important to the success that we'll hopefully have in the winter.
Well, being able to tell prospective student athletes that you're taking trips like going to Spain it all adds into the momentum, right? And the sell?
I think so. People are more engaged now with Brown basketball than they have been in a long time. We have a lot of energy and momentum. Going to Spain for 10 days, I think, is something that will be a lifelong memory for our players.
This is the thing that programs do now. They want to take a European or foreign trip of some kind. It's a little bit of sizzle for the experience to the student athletes. It's marquee. Gives you a whole learning experience.
Yeah, we'll be in Madrid, we'll be in Valencia, we'll be in Barcelona.
Playing what kind of teams?
We'll play some pro teams, not in the top division of Spain, because those teams, that's the second best league behind the NBA, that top league in Spain, the ACB. We won't play them, but we'll challenge ourselves against some second division teams, and hopefully we'll grow as a unit. And like I said, at the end of the day, our guys will get 10 days in Spain to hopefully really bond, create life-lasting memories, and hopefully help us, as we move into the season.
Traveling together, is always a good thing.
I think so.
Long-term time with your kids is
especially in
good
a
thing.
foreign country, I think.
Right.
Where,
Habla español?
Un poco.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
It's been an every year resolution, and these days I think it's important to probably be closer to bilingual than not. But it'll be cultural, give you a chance to really upgrade that part of you.
Yeah, we took the team to Italy in August of 2015, and went to the Roman Coliseum. We went, we were in Florence. We went to the Vatican. We saw the Sistine Chapel. I mean, you think about, again, the basketball is great. We're going to practice. We have our first practice this afternoon. We're going to, work on a few things that maybe will help us during the season. We'll play some games. We'll be able to experiment with some things basketball-wise. But the cultural aspect, the bonding aspect, to me is going to be great.
So when you take a trip like that, are you allowed special practice time? Because normally, if you're not taking a European trip like that, you're not allowed to practice yet until like mid-October.
Correct. The Ivy League. So we are the last conference and the only conference that can't do anything in the summertime when school is not in session, which I think is good. Our student athletes need a break, and they get to go. I mean, we've had guys intern this summer with Goldman Sachs and Bank of America and have some pretty incredible summer opportunities. Normally, we would not be able to practice today, but since we're going to Europe next Wednesday, we're allowed 5 practice sessions. And like I said, we'll try to get some things done. We'll work hard, and then when we're over there, we'll have some fun and work on some things.
The Ivy League you'll have to find some diplomacy here, I'm sure, but I'll just say it. The Ivy League is a tough league to coach and play in because it does have a lot of old-fashioned ways of doing business, doesn't it? And it's unique schedule during the regular season where teams play Friday, Saturday. I don't even know what the origin or the philosophy is about that, but I'm guessing it has to do with academics during the week.
Miss class time.
You don't want to be traveling around missing class time in the Ivy League.
Correct.
So you have to torture yourselves on trips where you go Friday, Saturday, play back to back. You got to really get a lot of massage therapy between the Friday and Saturday game, right? I mean, these kids really have to work hard in those 2 days.
Yeah.
And you never know what you're going to get on day 2, probably, based on what happened on night 1.
Yeah, it's.
Am I wrong about that?
No, you're 100% right. You are 100% right. It's a grind for the student athletes. It's a grind for the coaches. It's a grind for the entire travel party. But we miss very few classes, which is so important, and that's why our students are here. I think the great thing about the league is after a tough Friday night loss, you can come right back and get one on Saturday night. One of the most challenging things is after a real emotional win on Friday night, you've got to turn around and forget about that. The next day, you've got a new opponent in front of you. So it's all I've known. I've been in the league as a student athlete, assistant coach, and now head coach since the fall of 2000. So
it's your rhythm.
You get into a really good rhythm during the season. Sundays, you need your Sundays. Sundays are a great day for the students to rest and relax, recover, study. It's a great day for the coaches to be with their family.
Yeah, and at least that you've got, in as much as that you've got to be on that Friday, Saturday road trip. When you're home, it's great, right? But on that Sunday you can afford to shut it down because you've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to get back into the game.
Yeah, you're trying to most of Sunday you're trying to recover. Obviously I want to be with my family, my wife and my 3 daughters as much as I can. You start thinking about the next week's opponent, and you start watching film.
Oh, I'm not suggesting you shut it down. I mean, you guys are all nuts. I mean, basketball coaches might be amongst the nuttiest human beings on the planet. You never shut it down, right? But at least you're able to take a breath. And the kids can get away, which is important for them.
The kids can totally get away.
Yeah.
They can.
Well, speaking of getting away, the Pan American Games that Coach Cooley was talking about there must have been an experience and a half. We'll talk to Coach Martin about that and the USA's successful experience there. Stay with us. Play a lot. So that's some of the footage from the Providence College exhibition game with other players from the United States who came together to play the team in the white, which is the USA team that went to the Pan American Games. This is big deal stuff, man. This is nationally televised stuff. I was catching it on the various ESPN channels. It's kind of weird because they play with a different colored basketball because it's international basketball. But this is a unique approach that America has in the Pan American Games, playing against a lot of professional type players representing their various Central American et al. Teams. You went to, in South American, you went to Peru, which was, as I understand, not the most luxurious trip you've ever had. In fact, I forgot to tell Anita to I have a picture from Coach Bob Walsh, who was also on the faculty. The sleeping arrangements were quite cozy, as I understand.
They were.
Everybody.
So they built an athlete's village just like the Olympics in one of the more underdeveloped parts of Lima. And we had our staff in a suite, I guess you'd call it. There were 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a little hallway, no kitchen or living area. And Ed and I were roommates for 10 days. So two beds in a room. And
he who snores first wins? Is that how it goes?
Well, fortunately, I don't think I snore, and Ed didn't snore. So we were good roommates in that way. But tell you what, it was an awesome experience, Dan, to be with those guys, Ed and Kevin Willard from Seton Hall and Bob Walsh and Kevin Kerbeck, who's a vital part of Ed's staff at Providence. Just learned so much from them, and we bonded. We were only together for 17 days if you include the training camp, but it felt like a lot longer, and that was in a good way because we were together so often and we learned so much.
So Ed was talking in the first segment there that there hadn't been a gold medal for America. Most people say, listen, basketball, we run the show, but this is college kids playing against many professional athletes in the other divisions, and for a gold medal to be the goal, of course, but to come away with a bronze, pretty doggone good.
We were proud. We were proud. We had the youngest team in the field by far, all college guys, and not necessarily the best of U.S. college because it was just the Big East. And then I thought the Big East did a great job putting the roster together. But we were young. We were playing against a lot of pros. Argentina had 8 guys that were on their Olympic team in Rio. Venezuela, who we beat, had 7 guys that played in Rio. So I think it's a credit to Ed. I thought the team's chemistry was outstanding for being so new to each other and being so young. But I was really happy and pleased with how we did.
What about the international game? How different was it?
Shot clock's only 24 seconds. So, like, right away, you've got to move fast offensively to get a good shot.
Versus 30 in the college game.
30 in the college game. So different, obviously same as NBA, but different in a college game.
Well, explain, because most people who are not diehard basketball fans might say, what's the difference? 6 seconds. What's the difference? It's a big difference.
It was a big difference because, you start, if there's any kind of defensive pressure in the backcourt and you get the ball over half court, and now all of a sudden you look up and there's 12, 14 seconds on the shot clock, you got to get a good shot in a short amount of time. So more quick hitting offensive things, more early offense, more transition basketball. But I'll tell you what, the team we played from Argentina had 4 guys who played in the NBA, a bunch of high-level EuroLeague pros. It was, to watch them play offensive basketball was a clinic, and it was a treat for me as a coach. Even though we had, I didn't like playing against them, but watching them was the culture in which, they kind of have grown their international program. Their program is it was really impressive.
Myth or truth that international basketball is more physical?
It was really physical. So Luis Scola, one of the pros that Argentina had, he played, and in talking to him, he told Ed that Central American and South American basketball much more physical than even what you see in Europe, and they saw a team of college guys and said, we're going to make this as physical as we can, and they didn't think we had a chance, and he was right. They beat us pretty good, but learned a lot. It was the FIBA officials are different from what we're used to.
FIBA being the International Basketball
Association, yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
FIFA,
but for basketball, right? Yeah.
Different kind of approach to the game from the officiating standpoint?
Yeah, different points of emphasis, different governing bodies, some different rules. For example, like a live ball on the rim, you can't touch in the United States, but once a ball's on the rim in FIBA play, you can knock it off as a defender. Some different aspects. I think we learned a lot about that.
What do the kids get from having to play a more physical game? Now remember, they're all Big East. That's interesting, right? They're all Big East. Who picks the conference every year?
So I think USA Basketball.
That's an organization.
They govern.
And they rotate conferences. Is that what it is?
Not necessarily. This is the first time a conference represented the USA in international competition in the Pan Am Games. So I know the Big East was one of several major conferences that bid for this, and USA Basketball awarded it to the Big East.
How did Cooley end up as the head coach?
The Big East selected him. So Val Ackerman, the commissioner, and then Stu Jackson, who's the associate commissioner, selected Ed, and they all kind of worked to put the roster together.
And then it was his option to grab you and whoever else he wanted to.
Yeah. So and I thought Ed. I mean, I thought our staff chemistry. We worked hard. I mean, it was long days, in training camp and over in Lima, watching film, getting ready for the next game. We played 5 games in 5 days. But we had a lot of fun, and you can't be around Ed and not have fun. He's larger than life, and he's got such a great personality and
what
just
you
a great
see on
way
the floor
about
is only a slight exaggeration from what you see in life.
He's
on stage all the time.
He is so much fun to be around, and
I mean that in a good way. He's just alive.
He's got a great personality and a great way with people. I think he's a really sharp basketball guy. He's so good with people. I think that's what makes him so successful and so great. But I thought our staff chemistry was so good. We had never worked together, but we came together really quickly because of Ed. I think we knew when to focus and be serious, and we also had a lot of laughs.
Well, he brought some pretty high-powered guys. I mean, you're a veteran coach now, young guy, but a veteran head coach. He brings a veteran head coach from Seton Hall. Walsh is a veteran head coach. Your business is full of ego. Sharing spotlight and/or authority is not necessarily an instinct in your business. Yep. He's different that way, right?
And I can tell you with 100% certainty, there was zero ego involved in the staff. I mean, it was, Ed was the guy. He was in charge. He was making all the, big decisions. But he let us have a voice. He let us interrupt in huddles. He let us, take different pieces of the team in practice. And
what'd you learn from him?
My biggest thing I learned from Ed was just how great he is with people, how he managed the guys. I mean, I don't know if you saw it. There was a video of him and Colin Gillespie when it was clear we were going to win the bronze medal against the Dominican Republic. Colin had fouled out. He came off the court and gave Ed the biggest hug.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
It was senior night, and they had been together for 4 years.
And he's an opponent in the league.
A rival, and we were together for 17 days. And I just said, it says a lot about Colin. Type of competitor Colin is at Villanova. But it says so much about Ed, the fact that those two had that moment, after 16 days together. I think that's one of many great qualities of Ed is just how great he is with people.
I'm not sure that moment will be revisited twice. This
you don't think it'll happen this year at the Dunk?
What do you think? Well, Cooley can be something. I love to kid him. I tell him I'm a big fan of his all year long, except for one. Same with you. I'm a big fan of yours all year long, except for one with the Rhodey Rams. He can turn a lot of switches on. But I wonder, what do you think he learned from you? You brought a lot to the staff.
Yeah, I think you have to ask Ed that. I think I was.
But what influence do you think?
I learned, I learned a ton from them, but I just think he gave me a voice, and he gave me freedom and the opportunity to put some things in offensively and defensively, as he did with Kevin and Bob. And I think I brought a lot to the table as far as different ideas offensively after timeouts and special situations, different things to think about defensively.
Is it interesting now that how many years now at Brown as a head coach?
7 full years.
7 full years. All that assistant time that you had, but 7 full years now to actually take a semi-subordinate role, give you a little bit of perspective again about what your staff goes through game in, game out, and a little bit more perspective on that?
For sure. I enjoyed this because I could sit back and watch the game.
Watch the head guy sweat too.
Yeah, watch him sweat, but also watch the game as an assistant coach. You see it different. It's funny. It's a different thing, and I guess you can't quite quantify it until you've been through it. But you see it differently as a head coach versus as an assistant coach. And Ed gave me the ability to see the game and act the game like I was a head coach during this entire experience. But at the same time, I'm sitting down and I'm with the guys and I'm talking with them and I'm talking with Kevin and Bob and trying to think about what things we could do.
Well, the assistant coach is often a counselor for that which the head coach has put out there.
Yeah, if a guy comes out of a game and he's not so happy, the assistant coach is the one that's got to put his arm around him.
Right.
And there wasn't a lot of that. I thought we did a great job splitting up, playing time for the guys. But when you have 12 guys on the team and everyone's used to being a star at their own school, there were some moments where we had to make sure we put our arm around guys after a tough play or an adverse situation.
All right, good stuff. Overall, not a bad summer, huh? Peru, Spain, world traveler.
Yeah, good. It's amazing where basketball will take
And great
you.
for Brown University's program. Great notoriety.
Yeah, well, I think the USA basketball thing was awesome, and this trip to Spain will be awesome for our team because we'll get a chance to grow and learn even more about each other.
It's early, but we'll ask for a couple of minutes what the Ivy League will look like this year. Stay with us. So we only have a couple of minutes left, and I could use a little indication about how that works. Sometimes you see how the sausage is made here, but we were talking about the Ivy League. We only have a couple of minutes to talk about it, but I don't think it should be understated that people need to come out and see Brown basketball if they want to see really competitive college basketball. My years even here watching Brown and the league, I've seen it is not your father's Ivy League. It's not 5 and 8 years ago Ivy League. Yes?
I always joke that I couldn't
You guys
play.
are playing above the rim.
I always joke I couldn't play in the league today. It's 15 years ago I graduated, but no, it's the 11th best league in the country last year.
All
Dan.
due respect, you were a hell of a player at Brown.
I
But just figured all right, enough.
I say I always joke that I couldn't play in the league. Yale had an NBA guy this year, first guy drafted since '95, Miaoni. We've had NBA scouts at practices, plenty of games. Listen, there's Providence College, University of Rhode Island, great basketball in our state. Bryant, Jared's building a great program there. I think the Ivy League, there's really good basketball in our state. Come watch us. Harvard's going to be a preseason top 25 team. I think Tommy's had great success there. I think this is his most talented roster that he'll have this year. It could be the best team he's had at Harvard. Penn's got 3 senior all-league players. It's going to be a really, really difficult league.
Well, listen, we wish the best of luck. Congratulations on your extension at Brown. Have a great trip in Spain, and don't be a stranger over the season.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good stuff. Mike Martin, head coach at Brown University. Go see games this winter. It's going to be fun. Be right back to finish up.